Hi, good evening, everybody. So my video is going to be divided into part 1 and part 2. Part 1, helping Andrea. Part 2 is just basically the questionnaires on how do you use AI. So, commencing part 1. So, I thank Andrea for seeking my help. So, which demonstrates TP3 6.3, asking help from another colleague. And anyways, we enjoyed our discussion in the staff room and we had a awesome lunch. Me and Andrea happened to be, we happened to be our first time teaching at Los Tules Middle School. And then we've been virtual classmates via National University. You helped me out. Andrea helped me out a lot. And the discussions, which I appreciate. And then since we've been working together personally, we developed a trusting and professional relationship. So, as you mentioned, here's the problem. So, as you mentioned that you just finished grading the results of your weekly quiz, and you're feeling a bit defeated because you realize that the students aren't comprehending the new vocabulary and the terms you taught this week. You've already planned a laboratory activity for the next day for which these vocabulary terms would be necessary and unsure of what to do with the next steps. So here are my questions for you. So what are the vocabulary terms? And then these are the ones that you provided. Soil, nutrients, fertile, sand, and silt. Okay? And then my next question is, why do you think they're filling in the vocabulary quiz? So, also, and then I further dive into what are the types of content delivery that you think that you're using that isn't helping your students in retaining information. So when I look into your lesson plans, I did take notice on your content of your lesson plan. So here's the things. You provided a PowerPoint and you had your students read the textbook. But here's the thing. Did your PowerPoints have any visuals to get their attention grabbers? And then I noticed you had your students just read the textbook alone and write down the vocabulary words. So how do we grasp knowledge, content if you're going to have students read the textbooks and copy the definitions from the textbook and leave it as that? Have you thought about having your students divided into 5 groups and have them create a collage / visual boards of the following terms, right? You have a student do soil, have a student do nutrients, have students have fertile, sands, and silt, and then basically have them write out definitions and copy and paste visuals, put them on the boards, and they do a little presentation. Another idea you can do while they're learning these vocabulary words, you can create a Quizlet on these terms, to reinforce memorization for each of the term. So let's see, making content accessible. So you want to do a laboratory, but I have some ideas. So how about this? Maybe you can try this activity with the soil as well. Here's an idea. Maybe get those big 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot or Lowe's and have 5 different soil types so each of the students can fill each one. So that could be a fun and messy activity, right? So they get hands-on activity. So yeah, so here we go. Going to part 2 of the video. So the discussion and research explore at least 2 different AI tools. So the ones I was looking into is ChatGPT and Quizlet. So here we go. Here's the question. How could each AI tool be used in support to Andrea's and mine in terms of learning and teacher efficiency? So I kind of I broke down the questions and I copied each of these 2 questions. So I put, how could I use each AI tool to support my students' learning, and also how does it help support my teaching to support my teaching efficiency. So this is what ChatGPT said, or responded, as you were. So this says to best support your students' learning and different AI tools. It can be used in complementary ways depending on the learning needs, subject area learning goals, and here are the various AI tools can support student learning across different domains. So ChatGPT, helps with homework, essay assistance with helping brainstorm, outline, and revise essays, study guide creations, help summarize topics into flashcards, questions, and key points, language support, translate text, or explain vocabulary and grammar. Let's see. Best used for individualized explanations, 24/7 academic support, and critical thinking prompts. Number 2, image-based AI. Let's see. We've got visual aids. So generate custom illustrations for science, history, or math. Creative expressions, help students visualize stories, create comic strips, and design posters, and infographics. So again, that's be useful for visual learners, making a creative assignment, and enhancing presentation and understanding. Let's see what else we got. Not coding, not going to be using that. Writing grammar tools. So Grammarly, Quillbot, Hemming Editorial, grammar checking. So basically identifying correct sentence structure and word usage, using paraphrasing, rewording word, and writing feedback. Let's see what else. It's also good for, so we got assessment and feedback. Automated grading, quickly made multiple choice or even short answer questions, feedback. Formative feedback, provide instant feedback to guide student improvement, data analysis, identify common mistakes across the class for targeted reaching. So again, it's based for leveraging saving for time on grading, differentiated feedback, and data informed situation. Let's see what else. So now in regards for ChatGPT and Quizlets, they're powerful tools and they're benefited and have potential drawbacks. So here we go in ChatGPT specifically. So we got personalized explanations, can adapt answers to the student's level and learning style, useful for clarifying difficult topics in simple language, 24/7 support, encourage curiosity, writing and revisions help, and support a wide range of subjects. Let's see. Let's see what else. Now we go to Quizlets. So effective memorization. So going back to Andrea's definitions, creating flashcards or quizzes or practice quizzes on her contents. So again, it's perfect for active recall and spaced repetition. Let's see. Wide range of study sets. Students can use sets created by others or make their own, saving time. Again, Andrea can create. You can create different sets like your definitions. I know you use just the 5 words, but utilizing all 25, but divide them into 5 different little flashcards. Let's see. Visual and auditory support can include image and audio for better engagements. Alrighty, let's see what else. What can I say? And then, let's see. Ethical considerations. So how can me and Andrea be responsible for fair use while using ChatGPT and Quizlet in our classrooms? So here's what it says, what ChatGPT says. Using ChatGPT and Quizlet responsibly in your classroom is a great step towards fostering ethical digital citizenship and ensuring students' learning is authentic, equitable, and legally sound. And here's how you can ensure fair use and responsible AI integration. 1. Teach students to use it as a learning tool, not a shortcut. Here are the do's and don'ts. Encourage students to ask for explanations, examples, or feedback. we need to avoid letting our students copy full essays, answers, and projects directly. And the hows, we need to set clear expectations using ChatGPT. We use ChatGPT as a guide, but not a guide to our thinking, but not as a replacement. So other things they can use is check for accuracy, promote academic integrity, model ethical prompts. So we gotta have our students show to ask clear, constructive educational questions. Like instead of like putting write my essays, maybe put help me brainstorm points for my essay on climate change, or as an example. And then also following school district guidelines. So some districts have AI policies, so I need to do my due diligence on searching on those policies. Always align your local rules for privacy, equity, and content filtering, and avoid requiring students to log in with personal accounts. Responsible use of Quizlets in the classroom. So here's a big thing. Check for content for accuracy and appropriateness. Sometimes the content on Quizlets, they can be outdated. So it's our responsibility as teachers to look at those Quizlets content and see if they're accurate or they're matching our subject matter, and also it reflects on our lesson plans. All right, so here's another thing. Encourage student created study tools. Having students create their own flashcards or quizzes deepens their understanding and builds ownerships. Require citations and for definitions or examples taken from books or articles. And one big thing, avoid copyright violations. So do not upload copyrighted textbook content verbatim, and instead paraphrase or use original summaries. So again, it's a supplementing content, not substituting. All right. Let's see what else. So I wanted to go back to our considerations. Let me scroll back up. Just give me 1 second. So here we go. So going back to the accuracies, I did mention on it, but I'm going to go ahead and just go down into my notes. So accuracy issues may occasionally give incorrect or outdated information if not double checked. Over reliance or misuse. Students might copy answers without understanding the contents. Lack of source transparency doesn't cite exact sources, making it harder to verify information. 4. May not fit all learning needs. Chat-based help can be too abstract or unstructured for some learners who need visuals or hands-on practice. And then, and in addition, let's see what else. Surface level learning on the drawbacks. So focusing on memorization, not deepening understanding or critical thinking. Quality control. So many public sets have errors or not aligned to the curriculum. So as I previously mentioned, passive use of risk. Students may just flip through the cards without really engaging, and limited support complex subjects. Not ideal for explaining abstract ideas or multiple step problems. So how would I use ChatGPT? So as a music teacher, this is what I typed out. Sorry. Oopsie daisy. So so the question was, how does ChatGPT help me as a middle school band director, and here's what it provided. Using ChatGPT for middle school band can be a great way to enhance learning, inspire creativity, support your teaching or practice. And here are practical ways whether you are a band director, student, or a parent. So check it out. Alright, so for band directors and teachers, lesson planning. So ChatGPT helps me create warm-ups for different instrument sections, plan rehearsals based on ability. So that's pretty cool. So as this year is gonna go, I'm not sure what kind of students I'm gonna be having. But yeah, that's something to give me some ideas with. Okay, so design a theme unit. So let's see, whether it be jazz month, movie scores, weekly. So I have jazz band, so I'll probably, give on context on jazz standards, introduce other genres like rock, Latin jazz, bebop, and many others. What are the things I can do? So make arrangements, transpositions. So as a very, very, very as a student that was in one ensemble, basically college level ensemble, where play complex music. I also seen like simplified version of the hard pieces that we played. Maybe introduce that to the middle school level. Let's see what else. And also create student worksheets on note names, rhythms, and key signatures, and instrument care and history. And then for the students, it can help them, things they can ask is how to read trick and rhythms, how do you create a practice routine, also help with music theory such as scales and time signatures and note values. And then for parents is, what are some at-home practice tips to keep your students engaged? Maybe have parents provide incentive, like, hey, if you practice this much, 30 minutes a day, I can give you candy or a toy. Let's see what else. And lastly, so my personal reflection on using OpenAI. So as I was doing this assignment, this is like the first time I'm using ChatGPT. In the past, I've used Quizlet when I was in the Marine Corps, studying for my my little what do you call it? I forgot what the term that they use. Leading Marines. Sorry, that's just one of the content. Leading Marines. Doing PME. That's what I'm looking for. PME stands for Professional Military. I forgot what it. But anyways, I utilized Quizlet to memorize a lot of terms that we use in the Marine Corps. So that was my experience for Quizlet, but first time utilizing ChatGPT. So here's what are my thoughts. So I'm very intrigued by the answers that is provided. Very intrigued, and I think that's pretty revolutionary. And then AI is definitely beyond my comprehension, but it does have a lot. And I mean, the reason why it's beyond my comprehension because it's my first time, so I have to use it many more times to get a better grasp of it. But obviously AI is evolving by the second, so it's gonna be very, very hard to catch up with it. I like how it has infinite applications for teaching, again providing infinite ideas and approaches. One thing I love about tools, or my experience of being a diesel mechanic from the Marine Corps, that we use tools as leverage. It's a good analogy. But in terms of education, so I like the idea of working less, not working too hard or reinventing the wheel. So again, when it comes to leverage, it makes completions of tasks, and it reduces time. That's what I love about leverage. Am I comfortable with AI? And again, I'm still getting a taste of this ChatGPT and again, my experience of Quizlets. And there's many other AI tools I have not experienced, but those are the the ones I'm presented in this video presentation. I think the things we need to look out for is heavy reliance, not being knowledgeable on fair use, plagiarizing at work, and obviously cheating for teachers and students alike. All I gotta say, AI is here to stay, and it's gonna continue evolve. It's just gonna be an ongoing process. I think the issue is again over reliance, and it's just gonna keep evolving over time. And thinking science fiction like the movie Terminator, AI may replace teachers. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this 20-minute presentation. Think I went overboard, but yeah. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Yeah. I'd say if you are gonna watch this video, I probably should have made a disclaimer at the and from the very beginning. I'm probably gonna put it in the comments. Put the speed at 1.5. All right. Have a good night. Bye bye.